Becky, would you please start us with a prayer? Dear Lord, we thank you for helping us come together so that we can share with one another. And we thank you for keeping us warm enough this past week and granting us a warm day today. We know that we have more to come. We pray for those who don't have what we have. We also pray for the J6ers and President Trump and anyone who is just not feeling well today. We pray for those people in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Steve, would you lead us in the pledges?
American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good chicken, right? Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Introduction, sorry. We have Chris. No, you're not right now. You didn't want to usually elect him or candidate. You didn't want to. So Jenny will introduce in a little while. I think James Branbury is on his way, but he's not here. Ina Klein told me she was sorry, but she had to be somewhere else, I don't remember. So I think that's it for the introduction. Anybody who is here for the first time? Nope. Very good. So let's jump right in. So I guess the big news of the week for us, very selfishly, is that our voter guide is out. As you know, for the last 3 weeks or so, since almost 1 month since the election filing ended, we started collecting contact information for all the candidates, and you have no idea how hard that is. You'd think that those people don't want to be found. So, and once we found everybody, we sent them our questionnaire. Then we had to pull it, which was worse than pulling teeth out of them for some. But we got quite a good number back, especially of those that were important. So as you know, the most important thing for us right now was to focus on the 14 contested races, because those who don't have an opponent in the primaries, it's smooth sailing. Their time will come during the general election. It is still important for many who know that they will have an opponent to keep their name out, so that's why several are trying to stay active even during this primary time, because it won't be as easy in September, come September. So on our side, so we have our voter guide, and you might have some questions. We will. The questionnaire, by the way, are the blank questionnaires for those who are interested in the question we ask are on the website. You can look at them. The answers are not, and they are kept confidential. We only share them with the vetting committee. So now that we have our voter guides, the real work start. That's the time of the grassroots. We have to make sure not only to give them for the sake of giving them, that's not the goal. The goal is to get people out to vote, number one, and second, to vote the way we think they should. Because primaries are, as we always said, the most important cycle of the election. That's the only one where you really have a choice. You try to put the very best people that you can. It's not easy. Anyway, you have to work with what you have. Sometimes you have a lot of good candidates and it's very hard to choose. Sometimes you don't have a lot of good candidates, but you still have to choose. So you make the best choice that you can, and then we'll have to live with it, and hopefully we won't regret it. So how do we do that? We block walk. As you know, unlike some of the groups, we don't block walk just high propensity voters. We block walk systematically the whole island. We have about 10,000 voters, that's about 5,000 households, half and half between Precinct 40 and Precinct 81. Precinct 40 being south of Whitecap, 81 north of Whitecap. So we block walk, and we will also distribute at the entry of the polling places during early voting and of course on election day. So for that we need quite a number of people. We need people who will be there in the office also, because during this time you have at all time candidates who come and drop signs and literature, and voters who come and ask for data, for information, or for voter guides. So we need to be there. In quiet times, we're there just the afternoon. Now we will have to be there the whole day, every day. So I will need a lot of help, and that's why I ask you, everyone, please do fill up the questionnaire and do commit as much as you can. If we don't commit in the 45 days left until the election, that means we're not really serious about getting our country back. It's easy to complain, it's easy to cry after. This is the time when we can get things done. So please, I hope I can count on each one of you. So shift in the office, block walking. We have a listing here with all the streets and how many people are in each street. I recommend that you always take at least 10% more, because there are surprises, new houses, or some people want more than one. So always take 10% more than the number that is said there. So we will start right away block walking. If you can, before you leave, I think Barbara has a good habit of handling that log. See her and start signing up. What we recommend always is start with your street, see how many there are, and then once you've done your street, you do the streets around, and you enlarge your circle. So, and some like to do some long streets, so some like to pick the longer street and do the whole thing. So everybody is different, and some people want to do anything but my street. I don't want to see my neighbors, and that's fine too. And that's why we keep a log. We don't want to duplicate the effort, but we want to cover the whole island. But we want the candidates. We will do every street only once. So it is your responsibility to make sure that at all times we have your flyers, and that of course we also have your signs in the office. We have plastic bags. We make bags with all the flyers that we have. If we don't have yours, we have to keep going. If not, we'd always be waiting on someone and we'd never get a job done. So please make sure, we always, when we see we're getting low, we will call you and say, you're getting low, please bring some more. But if you don't do it, we won't be able to wait. So we will need people to prepare the bags, and we will need people to distribute them. One other thing, campaign rules have been posted on the website. They have been sent to all the candidates. Before the endorsement, we take everybody's flyers, donation envelopes, sign, and so on. Once we have endorsed, we will only block walk the endorsed candidates. Of course, anybody who does not have a challenge but wants to put their name out is welcome, because they are automatically endorsed. That's the easy part for them. So some say, oh, I don't want to spend the money right now, I'll wait September, and that's fine. Some say, I'd rather put my name out, and that's fine too. So we need people to do that. We will need people to call to find more volunteers and to get things organized. And then we will need people to distribute at the home. So quite a lot of things coming. So the form you have, please fill it up. So on the voter guide, I don't know if you had already the time to read it, if you want to take a few minutes to do so, if not. And if you have any question, I guess this is as good a time as any others to ask them. Yes?
Adam Hinojosa and others, is because they're unopposed, or?
That's correct. We said in the yellow part, we put, look in bold, we only list those that are in the contested race. And that's for the sake of time, of space. If not, we have something like 50, and because we have also ballot proposition, we would have needed to do a 4-page document. So that's why we did not list.
It would have been good for name recognition for,
That's right.
Democrat happened to get it or something.
They might not want to vote for someone that they don't recognize.
Well, and that's why we say also vote. Well, remember, when you arrive, you have to choose whether you want to vote Republican or Democrat. So once you choose one of the two, anybody who is unopposed is the Republican in the race, and that's why we say vote for every single office all the way to the bottom of the ballot. But what they don't know is for the race, when there's a challenge, very often they have no idea. If there is an incumbent, maybe they know the name of the incumbent, not even always, but they have no idea about the challengers. So that's why our main work at the primaries is focusing on the contested races. But I agree, we don't want downvote on anybody. It's good to have everybody vote for every single position. So we will keep insisting on it. So, any other question? Yes.
On one part of the guide, where it's like county constable precinct 2,
Yes.
that's not here. Do we even get to vote on that person?
No. So yeah, Jason, in fact, I have corrected it. I made a mistake. I thought he was not for us, but he's for Flower Bluff. If you're on the island, you don't vote for him. If you are in Flower Bluff, you do. We have
What precinct 4?
yes, we have Monty Allen.
Is he going to be a supported candidate or not?
He's not challenged.
Okay.
No challenge, that's
Well,
why.
not challenged.
That's
All right,
right.
thank you.
So the island will vote Monty Allen, and Flower Bluff will vote for Jason Murphy. that has a contested race. So, but the reason we put all the candidates also so that you know and you can talk to your friends about it. All the races in Wetchase County are covered in our voter guide, which means that wherever in Wetchase County people live, they can use it and they can help spread it. Remember that we are the only group that has endorsement. So for whether it is for the candidates that are common to everyone, the 11 that are common, or whether it is for the 3 that are just local, everybody can use them and everybody needs to spread them because that's the only source that people will have to know who to vote for. Yes?
Is she a challenger?
No, she's not.
So she's not in the primary?
She will be on the ticket, but she's not on our voter guide.
There's no challenger.
That's correct, no challenger. And she's our speaker today.
Jackie had, these.
Yes.
So John West, Ishmael, and,
Jenny Krohn and Jaime Tijerina.
Stop.
Absolutely. So I had put that in our original letter to the candidate, but I will send them. Yeah. I will send them one again, and I think we need also to call all the candidates to remind them that if they want to be included in our block walking, they need to bring us their
Do we
flyers.
know what a sample ballot looks like? Yes.
Not yet.
Okay.
It's not posted yet. Most likely it will be posted in 2 or 3 weeks. And then they have the generic one, and then they have one by precinct. But they have not been posted yet.
It was just very helpful. People told me when I gave them the guides last time, that it was exactly valid, and everybody was on there.
And
Every amendment.
we followed the order of the ballot.
Yeah.
So that's why our recommendation are in the right order. Of course, we skip the non-challenge races, but they are in the order of the race.
Yeah.
So do we, in the primaries, I understand the Republican or a Democrat ballot, is there an opportunity to vote for the non-challenge?
Yes.
Yes.
So
It would probably be better to have a name down there than, a lot of people we don't recognize something to be approved or anything, but you don't recognize the county attorney.
So,
Name, and they will be reluctant sometimes to vote.
so 2 points on that. That's why we insist, please vote for every position on the ballot. But also, you see, if we put everybody on the same sheet, the challenge races get drowned in those that are not. And then people, when they get there, they don't. Yes,
Okay, if somebody's running unopposed and they get 1 vote, they win.
that's correct.
Okay, we take care of it.
Sure, but it's an
Okay,
undervote.
sure, we'll take care of it.
That's
We're
right.
all wrong.
And so,
You're taking
and
care
so
of it.
that you know, last year, they were not put on the ballot. The ballot had only the races that were contested. This year, they will have everybody. I guess it makes it then more complicated because we stick with the idea of we should only highlight those that have a challenge race. But
Okay, as long as, we can take care of it, I take care of it, you'll get at least 1 vote, and definitely be a winner.
yeah. So I saw we have. Are there any other questions regarding either the vote or the endorsements? Any question either regarding the vote, the voter guide, or the endorsements?
What are the asterisks?
Incumbents. Did that skip? Did the line skip at the
I
bottom?
didn't see it on there.
It should say at the bottom, just after the table, that the asterisk is for the incumbents. If not, the line disappeared.
I don't see it.
Okay. Then it disappeared.
Okay, that's okay, it's not.
Yeah. I'll make sure when if we have a reprint. So that you know, so right now, our first print was 10,000, so which allows to cover the whole island and also election day. But we are also distributing in Flower Bluff already, and there are several areas where either the candidates that were endorsed that are in other area will have been distributed by the volunteers, or the precinct chairs that have said that they would, so it will be distributed, and that's why we're covering the whole county. So we can interact for a minute. So Barbie has arrived. Did you have anything so ready to candidate? Did you have anything on behalf of the congressman?
Of course. Never turn that down. I apologize for being late, besides the traffic getting over here, and then I went to the headquarters, and then I was like, oh, they're doing the wine thing over at Doc, so I went over there, told them hello, promoted Republican name and values there, and then made it over here, so, right. And, you know, not even any wine. So, Congressman Cloud, I don't know if any of y'all have seen any of the votes and stuff that came out today, but Congressman Cloud, along with the rest of the Freedom Caucus, voted no, and unfortunately, they're still outnumbered by those that say they're Republican and still vote for evil. But he has vowed to continue spreading the word, working with the Freedom Caucus, the Republican Caucus, spends meetings. Oh my gosh, I thought I was busy. Just looking at his calendar makes me dizzy. But he loves representing this area. He is excited. He will be here tomorrow. He is coming in straight from DC to come to the Fat Friday kickoff party tomorrow night for Mardi Gras. So he was really excited to be one of the title sponsors for that and support the mission. So if y'all have any questions about anything that's going on, please don't hesitate to reach out. I've got cards, and again, you know, he sends his appreciation for all the hard work that you do and all of y'all do. So, and as a side note, I didn't say this, but I love you, Jenny.
So, by the way, for tomorrow, and I did text the congressman, Kevin had sent me a message for him that they have reorganized the event tomorrow, so that the speech will be inside, so that they are not in the cold, and he comes first.
Yes, Sherry Sperling is going to introduce him, so yes, he is excited to be here. He will not win the costume contest, but I did convince him to wear some red, white, and blue beads at least.
Good. Okay. So, we have several forums coming up. I know that people have complained that the forums are after the endorsement. Sadly, that's the only way we can do when we have only 2 weeks between the end of the filing and the beginning of the year to do the vetting and print our endorsement, so that there is some time to distribute them and for the endorsed people to reap the benefit of being endorsed. That's the only way to do it. It has always been that way. Some new candidates don't realize it, so they are very upset. They say, how can you do a candidate forum if you have already endorsed? Well, that's our way of extending them the courtesy of giving them a platform, even if we have not endorsed them, to reach out to the voter and be heard and be known. So I think it is important, and that's why we do it. For sure, we could just endorse and say, we did not endorse you, so goodbye. So we do that, and we have 4 in 6 weeks, and that's unluckily the best we can do. So next week we have our dream team from the 13th Court of Appeal, all 4 judges and candidate for presiding judge will be here. So that will be a fun event. After that, on the 1st of February, we will have the CD27, our Congressional District Forum. I hope, yes, you have good news?
Well, I have good news that my boss is doing his job. He's going to be in DC. So, do you want him to send a video?
Sure, at least a video, we said it's a video or Zoom, but if ever for by any miracle they let them go in time Thursday, we would love to have him.
Yes, yes. If he is here, he will be here.
Yeah.
But if not, I'll be there.
Yeah. So, after that we have Judge Ina Klein on the 8th of February, then skipped one. I skipped, in fact, February 1st is the DA race. So that's going to be, of course, an interesting one. And we added to it the 28th District Court. We thought it was good to do all the local judicial races, as we had those for the 13th Court of Appeal in one, and then on the 22nd we'll have the higher courts, which are the State Court of Criminal Appeals and the Texas Supreme Court. So we have already 4 candidates for the Court of Appeals that have confirmed they would come, and I'm still working on trying to have at least one for the Supreme Court. And I have asked Ina Klein if she could do an introduction to explain what all those different courts are and what we do. So I think that's it for our forums, and we have a lot of pretty interesting movies. Don't forget our movie nights on Monday night. Becky does an incredible job making sure it always runs smoothly. So thank you, Becky. That's really very valuable.
Yay, Becky!
Election date to remember, February 5th is the last day to register. So if you know people, neighbors that are not yet registered, don't forget to make them do it in time, especially if they are not Democrats. And then February 23rd will be the last day to apply for ballot by email. And Tuesday the 20th, February 20th, will be the first day for early voting. So it's coming on us very quickly. So primary schedules. I'm sure you've been watching the Iowa races. Next week we have New Hampshire. I think Ted Cruz said it very well at the end of the Iowa race. He said the primaries are over for that race. So there's one more presidential debate scheduled, but Nikki Haley, as you know, has said she was not going. I wonder why. Yeah. So, one important thing, chaplains in school. School districts have been instructed that they have until March 1st or 15th, March 1st, to decide whether or not they want to have a chaplain in every school. This is now a law that they can have it. So I have contacted some of our school board members and friends. Jeannie Blankenship will take the lead for Flower Black to make sure that the school district puts it on the agenda and votes to have a chaplain in each of their schools. Denise Villalobos, who is running for HD 34, but is also a school board member at Midway Toulouse, so will take the lead at that school. If you know anybody is a parent to ask our school board member in any of the other school district in the area, please let them know. There is not much time, and after that the window where they have to make that decision. So, I don't know if you saw yesterday that Governor Abbott won the state that he can keep his buoys in the Rio Grande. It's been a long fought battle, but he did win it.
Did that go to the Supreme Court or not?
Fifth Circuit says.
I don't think so, but I don't know.
They said
Yeah,
they take it.
they will always try to take it further. So, today also Attorney General Ken Paxton released a statement saying that they have put an end to the litigation from his former employees that were fired. You know that they had brought it up, then they had settled because they didn't ask to settle, and then they complained that it was wasting the taxpayer money, which is how the whole impeachment story started. They lost that one, so then they restarted after the fact, and they wanted again to get the settlement that they did not, they had refused before and after. So today they released a statement saying that the Office of the Attorney General was fed up pretty much of spending their time and money at a time when they had so much to do on futile things, and they put an end to it so that it becomes just a civil labor dispute that does not take everybody's time. So that's the news of the day. And I think that's the important thing I had. So I would like to ask Jenny Dorsey, our county attorney, to come and talk to us. Maybe she'll tell you all what she does. I know she has had a very busy year too. Fun, right? So thank you for being here. Sure.
Thank you for having me. Thank you all for allowing me to join you. First off, I want to extend to you all a belated thank you. And I want to tell you all the ways what you've done for me has helped me through this past year. As you may be aware, some crazy fella decided to file a lawsuit against our DA. And that meant that I had to make a decision. Now, there's some fluff around whether that should have been my decision, but the judge said it was, so what do you do? So, during that time, which was very hard to go and rock the boat, but have my family be in that boat with me, you know what I'm saying? I got texts from people I didn't even know the number. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you today. What do you have today? Well, in fact, I have a hearing, and here's how you can pray for me. And so, I have those, and I hope I'll always have them, because what that did for me was keep me going and remind me that there are people that actually care, because generally speaking, the person on the street doesn't know the difference between my job and the DA's job at had lots of people telling me, I'm so sorry you didn't win the DA spot. Well, that's okay. I got the county attorney spot. So anyway, thank you all. If you prayed for me and my family during that time, and my staff and my attorneys during that time, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, what we're doing with that, we had success there. I don't know if y'all know how that ended technically. He decided to run for Congress. So I've been reading a little bit, and from my readings lately, I've found several verses that say, if you can't handle the small jobs, nobody's gonna give you the big job. So anyway, so a run for Congress, and that was to avoid the jury trial that we were headed to. We had a wonderful judge, very fair, hit me in the knees at the get-go. You know it's fair. Then he kept getting them, and so ended great. So I think it was a fair situation. There was not a can hunt. There was no shenanigans. It was hard fought on our end. Commissioners paid that bill. Anyway, and they had their own counsel advise them on whether they could do that. I assure you, I did not advise them they should pay his bill. So what we're doing with that great benefit that you have given to us, we started out 1/1/21 with an office that had been with the previous county attorney for 20 or so years. They had a practice of sending protective order applicants. That's one of the things I do. Protective order applicants, 3 days out of the week, whether there's a conflict or not, to Rio Grande Legal Aid. Rio Grande Legal Aid then takes whatever they do, they do. Do they tell us? Do they tell me? No, they won't. So that's the first thing we did. We said, look, I've had one too many women stabbed 15 times and left for dead, and the file's sitting on somebody's desk, and that's not gonna happen on our watch. So we took all of those in. That increased our workload dramatically. So, we're doing that. We're streamlining the process, making sure everybody gets heard. Everybody who needs one gets a day in court. Not everybody actually has something that should go to court. So that's a process, and they have just jumped on that. The staff is learning new ways. We lost some people along the way. Guess what? We're going to be open during lunch. Lose some people along the way. Commissioners had that fight yesterday. Everybody's going to be open 8 to 5. So that's one big thing that we're dealing with. We've got software. I know that's not exciting to you guys, but if you're running a law office, you can't do it with index cards and fax machines anymore. So right. So we're bringing everything in. I don't know if y'all ever watched Commissioner's Court. I invite you to. It's much less exciting nowadays than it used to be. For good reason. But I will tell you, it's a hoot. Please, if you have nothing, burning, you can see some good stuff on Wednesdays, and you'll see me there. You'll see the back of my head most of the time. It's great. There's 5 people trying to do the very best they can for the county, and I get to sit up there across from them and remind them, hey, this isn't on your agenda, or this or that, or fight with them about, hey, you can't tell electeds when to have office hours. Sorry. So we'll continue to have that fight. But along with that, and the change, and the wonderful change in the court since the beginning of this year, or beginning of last year, I get to the courthouse usually about 7:30 in the morning, and we get to park inside this little garage of all the electeds. And there's maybe 2 cars, usually 1 car ahead of me, and that's your county judge, Connie Scott. Yeah. So I I gotta give her props for that. She's the only one who consistently beats me to work. But now that we don't have a DA to chase around, we just have to say hi and you know, be cordial, and that's wonderful. I love that. Work together. I love that. It was not that way before. What else are we doing?
The commissioner's report's on YouTube.
Yeah, you can look at old ones. You can even go back to the really, really fun ones if you just want to see some.
That was live.
You can see it live on YouTube, or you can see it on the Nueces County website. So we're dealing with that. I don't know, did anybody have any questions maybe that didn't get answered about, you know, the lawsuit that people seem to be interested in, or anything going forward? We're looking at trying to get some legislation taken care of.
This is not a question, it's a comment. I just said this is absolutely gorgeous picture.
Ha! Thank you.
Good material to work with. That was just a compliment.
Well, I have a funny story about that picture, and I'm glad you actually allowed me to tell it by that. We have a portrait, I had a portrait for all this time of the previous county attorney in the foyer. And all previous county attorneys, you know, black and white to color, and then a great big one of the previous county attorney. And they kept telling me, you gotta put one up, you gotta put one up. I'm like, I don't know who should pay for that. I'm not gonna pay for that. Leave her picture up till I'm gone and then put my picture up. Well, one day, I'm trying to talk to the county judge about some business, and my first assistant comes barging in and says, no, we need you in the foyer right now, right now. I thought somebody was going berserk and I needed to go deal with an unhappy customer. But all my staff was standing around, and that portrait was hung up in the foyer. They had actually managed to do this without me knowing. And so it's just the sweetest thing. They caught me, and I tried to, I hid most of my tears, but it was very, very sweet group of people that work for you guys out there. And so, anything else? So protective orders we handle. We advise not only commissioners court, other elected officials, sheriff especially, public works. We do a lot of construction law, if you can believe it. Yes, sir.
I know it's not totally your lane, but I know the new DA released all his investigators. What was the thought process on the release of the investigators? It is very, very, sorry, I didn't see the.
He's next. He's next.
Oh, wait.
Exactly. He's next.
Can I just say though, that I think it was probably a pretty good thought process? Anyway.
Why do you say that?
That's my husband giving me a problem.
Well, they do this all the time. This is our husband.
We got a heckler in the house.
Anyway, thank you guys for your prayers. I still need them every day, especially on Wednesdays. Look forward.
Thank you very much. So, I realized that I never called on Michael. I was so perturbed by the fact that Chris still doesn't want to run for anything that I forget to call on the other candidates. So Michael was here. So first I let you say a few words, and then we end with Jimmy.
Thank you all. Pleasure to see you all again. And I wanted to say thank you for the endorsement. I really appreciate that. I know that carries a lot of weight on the island, and I'm really thrilled to be here for that. And I appreciate seeing you all here. And if anybody doesn't know, my name is Michael McCauley, and I'm running for the 28th District Court. And my opponent is a Democrat. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding, actually. So I have a Republican primary opponent, and I'm grateful for Suzanne's endorsement and y'all's endorsement, because it's important for the public to know that the true Republican and most qualified person who is most qualified to win in November is me, and I would appreciate y'all's support. I do appreciate your support. So thank you, Suzanne. Thank you.
I didn't see you come in, so if you would like to come and say a few words.
About 45 minutes ago.
Evening. I didn't expect to be up here. I came out with Jenny. She's
a wonderful human being, a great mother, and a hell of a county attorney, and we're lucky to have her.
Preach.
I have to say that because she's also my lawyer. So, as the district attorney, when I was recently sued, I was in Jenny's office a lot. So, we're working all that out, and that's about all I can say about that. But I've known her husband, Chris. We've worked together many, many years. And he's a public servant working for San Francisco County over there across the bay. And doing a lot of what Jenny does over here, so it runs in the family. But if you ever get a chance to see them and their past little kids running around, they got all boys, not a single girl. Jenny's alone, so you do need to pray for her. And you know, with the guy hollering stuff from the back of the room, you understand why. I do want to thank you very much for the endorsement. I'm new to this. I'm a neophyte. You know, when I was approached about tossing my hat into the ring, I had to think about it. I had a 30-year practice, and I was doing just fine. And I thought, do I really want to jump into this fray? And I thought back to all the people who had influenced me. I had Douglas Tinker, great lawyer. Carl Lewis, great lawyer. I had Judge Robert Blackman, wonderful judge, and I was his prosecutor for a year. Even going back to even the ones that you wouldn't expect, Margarito Garza, you know, but you learn from all of them. And if you don't learn from all of them, you learn things not to do from all of them. And so all my life I've been blessed with mentors. And I look around today and I see young people who are coming into the DA's office that are my daughter's age or younger, actually. My daughter's about 30. Very proud of her. She got her PhD at University of Edinburgh in Scotland. She's living in the UK, doing great. We try to sneak over and see her when we can, but that's not very often because I've got a 27-year-old nonverbal autistic son who I'm guardian to. And so I'd go to my day job, and at night I'd go relieve the caregiver, and I'd start my night job. He's going to live with me and my beautiful bride Pamela, who's sitting over there. Only person keeping me sane until the day I die. So that was my life. I did my day job, and then I went home to my night job. I wasn't political. I didn't live that life. I voted, participated in that, but it was not the center of my life. When this came up, I had to say, okay, who am I? What do I really care about? And can I run as a Republican? And I thought, yeah. You know, I look back, I thought Roe was wrongly decided on the law. You know, I had all these positions that I took, and going back to law school, maybe wish there was another way, but that was the law, and I could look at it and say that's what the law ought to be, right? That's the way our country is written. So I am a constitutionalist. That's what I am. A criminal defense lawyer and a criminal prosecutor do the same work. We just do it from different sides of the fence. And the good ones can preach from either side. Okay, it's the same laws, it's the same rules of evidence, and really the same goal. You want to protect society. Now, when you're a defense lawyer, your only burden is, and only obligation is to the client, and the state has the obligation to the rest of the community at large. But I can tell you that good defense lawyers don't want to see that client back again. You know, they'd rather get their attention, get them lined out, make them understand where the road of righteousness is, and set them down that road, and 10 years later have them come up and say, Mr. Granberry, do you remember me? Remember? No. I'm old. I don't remember. And have them say, well, I had a little spot I got into, and you helped me out of it, and I just graduated from law school myself, or I just graduated an engineer now. You know, that's why you do that. Okay? I prosecuted from 90 to 94 for this DA's office, and I loved it. I got married, I had babies on the way, and I had to go make a living. But I kind of chuckle at any prosecutor who I hear say I can't be a defense lawyer, and any prosecutor who says I could never be a defense lawyer. Because yeah, you can, it gets in your blood, and you'll find a way to get back to criminal law. I am surrounded in the office by a bunch of young, enthusiastic, extremely well-educated lawyers. The only thing that they last, and Jenny can speak to this too, a lot of what we do is, attaboy, good job, you did great. You know? And you go up and you sit with two of my young prosecutors. I have two groups, male-female teams, both tried their first murder cases while I've been there. I stayed there late and we talked through their closing arguments. One of them just like my daughter, right? Talked so fast I couldn't hear that fast, right? I mean, you all have kids that way, right? They can talk so fast I can't listen that fast. I said, slow down, taste your words, feel your words. That's what they need to do, is feel every word and give it in for them. And she did it what I said in practice, but I thought, yeah, well, when she gets up in front of that jury, it's not going to happen. You know, she can go right back to Mother Mac. I went up and sat in the back of the floor, and she nailed it. Nailed it! Because she listened. And it was beautiful. We got 40 years on the first murder case, 30 years on the second. Both of them good legs. By first-time prosecutors in their 20s trying murder cases. Okay? That's pretty good work, and I'm really proud of those young lawyers. So the reason I'm there is to mentor. I'm there to teach. I got maybe 2 terms if God gives them to me, and if not, I'll be fine. You know, I'm going to go on and do my thing. Hoping for grandchildren that I got. But I figured this was my time to give back. So I think I took this job for the right reason. I didn't need it. I didn't need to shut down. Hard to shut down 30 years of practice. Hard to find a place to put all that crap, you know? And so I'm still working on that. I'm still paying rent where I was officing. So it's been a great joy to me, and I cannot tell you what this organization's vote of confidence in me means to me. I take it very, very dearly and very, very deeply. We're going to make this county a safer county. I was late because I was with one of my juvenile prosecutors going through next week's list of cases and whether we certify these people as adults or not. It's hard to certify 15-year-olds as adults. And I needed to satisfy myself that A, the crimes they were charged with were worthy of that, and B, that the state has a mechanism built in to not just toss them into the wolves. And they do. They have a way of separating them out and keeping them, where they're just not going to be devoured the first day, okay? Because, someday there's a good chance they're going to be out. And we would rather have them come out having learned some things and gotten wiser than coming out even more animalistic than they went in. So, thank you again. I appreciate everything. Thank y'all.
I would add to what you just said, and I'm sure it won't be a surprise, that our endorsement in the DA race has been the most controversial we did this time, at any time, in fact, in the last 8 or 10 years that we've been doing this. So I've been fielding phone calls, texts, messages of all kinds, some kind, some not so kind. My answer has always been, we chose who we thought was the most electable and had a chance to win in the general election. but all the elected officials here know it. We are not a group that just helps to get elected and then sits back. We hold your feet to the fire. We're watching. We have a song that we often play at the beginning, saying we are watching you. Every hand you shake, everything you do, we are watching you. And that's what you do, because it's one thing to get elected, and then we want you to hold on to your commitments. So I certainly hope I won't regret our decision, and I'm sure we all do, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.